What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Smart Talk, where we talk about real struggles, real stories, and entrepreneurs that came from the ground up. Today, I got the Cuban muscle in the building.
Yes, sir. Cuban muscle.
Almost forgot, man. What's up, man?
What up, man? How are you?
Chilling,
How
bro.
y'all doing, man?
Good, bro.
Good, man. I appreciate you came on the show, bro.
Yeah, man. Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, dog. So I know a lot of people in Albuquerque and New Mexico know you as a big-time bodybuilder,
Yes,
influence
sir.
in the community. So I want everyone to kind of get to know you a little bit more and like your come-up story, essentially. So tell me a little bit more about yourself, brother.
So, come up, dude. I don't know about coming up. I'm still trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? But, man, where do I even start, man? So, I guess growing up, I really got into bodybuilding because of my brother, man. You know, I was probably 5, 6 years old. So my brother's 11 years older than me. Mm-hmm. And so he was probably 17, 18, maybe 16. I don't know, but I remember he had squares because he was a wrestler. And I was like, how does this dude got squares? You know, I remember thinking that.
Yeah.
And then, I'd always see him. He had this red Mustang. You know what I'm saying? One of them Mustangs, you could whip it.
Yeah.
And, man, I'm telling you, every time I saw him, he had a different girl, and it was always, like, bad. So I was like, man, I want to be just like my brother. And he was always at the gym, and I remember thinking, man, if I could just somehow get in the gym, man, you know? So fast forward, I was watching WWE, and John Cena was my guy, bro.
Yeah.
I was, you know,
Yeah.
you can't see me in the type, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, now looking back, I realized all my role models were these freaking jacked dudes, you know what I'm saying? So I had, you know, seen being jacked as being successful. Mm-hmm. So whenever I was 15 years old, I asked that same brother who was at that time like 26, if he could take me to the gym, you know, for the first time. And whenever he had done that for me, you know how some people, they be 30, 40, and they still don't know what they want to do with their life. Mm-hmm. I stepped into that gym, and I said, I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. You know, I walked into the gym, and I had seen all these hot girls, and, you know, I was listening to, I don't know, what was popping in 2015, probably like Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap.
Yeah,
You had the
in my
SoundCloud
headphones.
yeah.
You know, and I was just at the gym, and every day I was like, okay, I want to bench one plate. Okay, I bench one plate. I want to see what it's like to bench 185. Yeah. I want to bench 225. I want to bench 315. I want to bench 405, you know, and I hit every single milestone, and I just fell in love with it. Every day I would go to school. I was on the football team, so I would go to football, and then I would go to school, and then as soon as I get off from school, I go to the gym. And I'd be at the gym for like 3-4 hours. I was overtraining like crazy back then, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, I just loved it so much. So, you know, thinking back, man, at you know, my story and my journey, that's what really started is my big brother. You know, my big brother Brandon. And you know, shout out to him. He's still killing it. Yeah. You know, he can still get up 3 plates on the bench, you know, and he's got a kid and everything now. So, you know, shout out to my brother. But yeah, I would say I never really was like super fat or anything, or, you know, I'd always been decent, but I think it was just that constant pursuit of wanting to be the best that drove me. I wanted that D1 scholarship. I wanted to, you know, be somebody, be something. You know, I wanted, you know, not necessarily the girls, but it was just, I got addicted to, you know, just becoming a better version of myself every single day.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what the gym did for me, you know, and shoot, still 10 years later, here I am, I'm 25 years old, and I still am looking in the mirror like, how can I improve? How can I, you know, do this, do that, you know, to make myself better? So, yeah,
it's
man.
An obsession. Like
it's an obsession for real, and people don't understand it. When it's all you think about from the time you wake up in the morning to when you go to sleep, that's how you know you got an addiction. Yeah. And I say for the last 10 years, I've had an addiction to the gym. You know, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a good addiction to have, though.
Do you feel like a lot of people look up to you because, you know, you're pretty jacked and, you know, you try to put people on game?
The other day, this dude came up to me in the gym and was like, hey, man, like, you have my dream physique. I was like, what?
That's crazy,
me?
Yeah.
Like, you talking about me? Like, I'm your dream physique? He's like, yeah, man, you look like a superhero for real. I was like, bro, like, stop right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was, because you got to understand, man, I look at myself and I see nothing but flaws.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I see nothing but flaws. And, you know, I think that for sure I've inspired, I wouldn't say quite a bit of people, but I know a lot of people who have hired me for coaching and, you know, have, you know, followed my YouTube and my channels. And they ask me a million questions trying to pick my brain about, hey, what's the best way I can hit this muscle? They never know the name of the muscle, but this muscle. I'm like, oh, you rear delts? All right, let's go do some face pulls or let's go do some rear delt flies. Or, you know, so I would say that, you know, in the beginning, I don't know if I necessarily inspired people, but I think now I'm starting to inspire people because I'm starting to get my name out there with my YouTube and Instagram and all that. So, yeah.
Does that make you feel good?
Dude, giving back is everything to me, man. Because I was once that kid.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it was Julian Sanchez, my boy. I told you, he's a pro bodybuilder. And, you know, first time I seen this dude, he was just insane.
Yeah.
I seen him bench 405 like it was water.
Damn.
And then he went up to 455. I was like, bruh. And he had these legs and everything. So I would say, man, it started, you know, I looked up to Julian, and right away I started picking his brain. I met him, and I was picking his brain, and he was teaching me, man. Like, he never held back in everything he told me. He would always tell me the truth. And, you know, that's what I try to be for these new kids that are coming up. Mm-hmm. I never hold back anything because I want them to succeed, and I want to see bodybuilding grow, you know, as a sport. To one day we can get paid, you know, and, you know, everybody can have an outlet, you know. So, you know, it's bodybuilding is not something you get into because you're trying to pay the bills. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not football, it's not basketball, it's not baseball, right? Yeah. Bodybuilding, I mean, I guarantee you, if you ask Mr. Olympia, hey, you know what, man, we ain't gonna be able to pay you this year, he still do it.
He's still gonna be at the gym.
He's still gonna be there at the Mr. Olympia because at the end of the day, we don't do this for money. We do it because we love it and we're obsessed with it. So, yeah, man.
When did you make the shift from, okay, I'm just going to the gym, but now I want to compete?
Probably when I was 18, I hired my first coach, man. Rest in peace, Johnny Sanchez. He was another man that I really looked up to, and he looked like a pro bodybuilder, you know. And he recently passed away, you know, rest in peace. But he taught me everything, not just about in the gym, or, you know, he taught me about life, how to present yourself, how to speak, how to talk to girls, how to, you know, make money, how to go about different things and different situations. And unfortunately, you know, he's no longer with us, but, you know, that man taught me a lot, you know, a lot of stuff. And I'm sorry, what was your question?
No, it's just like when you made that shift, like, oh, like I want
so basically it started with my friend Matt Ellison. You know, we both we started bodybuilding together, and you know, he was on my football team. Actually, he actually laid me out the first day of practice with my sophomore year. He put me on my ass. Mind you, I hadn't gone through my growth spurt yet, and he was 2 years older than me. Yeah. But still, man. So, anyways, we hadn't seen each other for like 3-4 years. I didn't really know nothing about him, but then I seen him at the gym. I was like, geez, man, this guy got some big arms. I was like, And me, I'm always trying to pick your brain, right? If I know you're the smartest kid in the class, hey, man, what you doing? Yeah. I'm trying to, you know, what's your studying program? So same thing with Matt, right? I was like, hey, man, when's your next arm day? And he was actually cool about it. He was like, yeah, man, let's hit it together. And we've been best friends ever since. And originally we wanted to do the Megatron show together in 2020, but that was the COVID year. So then the show got canceled here in New Mexico, and then we ended up going to the Megatron. But yeah, man, I say that was the big shift, was me hiring Johnny to be my coach, mainly because he taught me what people are actually doing, you know, not just creatine and, you know, whey protein shakes, but he taught me, you know, basically how to really, really get big and really, really, you know, advance yourself. So once I felt like I was on a level playing field, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to step on stage. And then, you know, I'm still trying to get that pro card 5 years later, but yeah, man.
How rigorous is a bodybuilder's diet? Is it that intense or? So
it depends, man. Honestly, on a couple different things, right? If you got a fast metabolism or you got a slow metabolism. Me, my body always wants me to be a 5'11", 180-pound Cuban boy. You know?
Yeah.
That's just how my body works.
Yeah.
For me, I got to eat more than the normal dude. So for me, my diet goes I wake up probably I set an alarm, 4:30 in the morning, and then I eat my oatmeal.
Mm-hmm.
I do 120 grams of oats, and then 2 scoops of protein, and I go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up, and then meals 2 through 6 are the exact same. 300 grams of white rice, and then 10 ounces of turkey. And then my last meal, right before bed, is going to be a steak meal. Again, about 10 ounces. But that meal, I try to do potatoes or sweet potatoes, something like that. I try to switch up the carb. But, yeah, man, the eating is definitely – I get agitated.
Is it mentally straining? Like,
yeah.
Having to just eat this?
If it's like – I got this mental clock that has been in my brain for the last 10 years. And every 2 hours, I'm like, okay, Ricky, it's time to eat.
Yeah.
And I start to get mad. I start to get angry if I don't get that meal in. So,
yeah,
man, the diet is everything. Mm-hmm. I say the diet comes more than, and that's why I'm so blessed. I have a sponsor, you know, El Chino Meal. Shout out to El Chino. You know, use team code Team Nova 15 at checkout. But you know, with them, it makes my life way easier because the protein's already cooked.
Yeah.
Every week I just order my turkey, my white rice, my potatoes, and then the only thing I really cook myself is just the oatmeal first thing in the morning. Mm-hmm. That's it. So as far as that goes, it definitely takes a lot of stress because when I first started bodybuilding, I was cooking every meal fresh. And that is so time consuming. It's like an hour after you eat, all right, man, I got to start cooking for my next meal and doing the dishes and, you know, the little scrub daddy or whatever. Trying to get all the turkey off. So, yeah, man, I say the diet is definitely everything when it comes to bodybuilding. That's what separates a good. You can tell right away when somebody's real big, all right, they own their diet. It's not just, you know, I'd say a lot of people take gear. But as far as like, man, like being on your diet, not a lot of people on their diet. Mm-hmm. That's what separates good from great. Yeah. For real. So
how does that affect your relationships with girls? Do they get sick of like your lifestyle, or how do you include girls? Like, if girls want to go out, eat like Dion's pizza or go drinking and stuff like that?
Again, man, we thought it's different, right? Because I have such a fast metabolism. 9 times out of 10, I can get away with eating that stuff. I ain't gonna lie. Mm-hmm. I can eat, because for me, my daily calorie requirements are gonna be so much higher than somebody with a slower metabolism. So for me, honestly, if they want Dion's, I'm gonna be like, hey, baby, let's go get some Dion's. You know what I'm saying? I'm not opposed to it. If we're in the off season, I need the calories anyways. You know, I'm the one. I started the McDonald's trend, right? I'm all about McDonald's. That's quality food right there. That's a quality meal. You know, I don't care what nobody says, man. You get 2 triple cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
How much protein is that?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's real.
70 grams.
I don't know if that's real protein, dog.
It's real protein. I'm telling you. What do they put in the cows? Steroids. What does that do? I'm telling you, man. And it's McDonald's. Cheap. It's not a money grab, man. Yeah. You know what is healthy food really? It's science. It's studies that they put out. You know, it's never a money grab. McDonald's. They're always going to be there for you, no matter what time. That was all last year, man. When I was trying to get it to 265, I ate McDonald's every single day.
Damn.
For my last meal, I'd get 2 triple cheeseburgers, large fry, Diet Coke, and if it was leg day, I would get apple pie.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you never felt like lethargic or tired from?
Nah, because it was my last meal day. I just go to sleep.
Makes sense.
But I wake up, sometimes I'd be tired, yeah. But, I mean, honestly, I have such a fast metabolism, man. I've always been able to eat a lot of food. But it's also because of my skeletal structure. Mm-hmm. I'm Cuban. I have this long, diaphragm. My chest is high, so I have a big stomach. So I can fit a lot of food in there. I've done some crazy eating challenges, too. I've eaten 100 chicken nuggets in one sitting. I've done 20,000 calories. I've done some crazy food challenges. So.
How do you prepare for that, for a 20,000 calorie day?
Dude, so I did that one about 3 years ago. Yeah. And that day, we had already planned it out, everything before. So we started off 2 boxes of cereal, whole fat milk. We kind of cheated it a little bit. I ain't going to lie, because it was a little bit tough. But I started at 12 a.m.
Yeah.
So I gave myself 24 hours still, but, technically you're supposed to start when you wake up in the morning. Okay, yeah. So I was able to get in 4,000 calories right there just based off of cereal. And I think I had ice cream too, right? Yeah, I think I had ice cream. And then I woke up, went to Wex, Got 2 big old burritos with some hash browns and pancakes. Then we had breakfast dessert after that. I went to Amy's Donuts, got 12 donuts, big croissant. Then I actually hit the gym, actually, believe it or not.
Did you feel did you feel more energetic when you hit the gym?
No, I ain't gonna lie.
No,
I did feel horrible.
shit.
Yeah, I felt awful, man. I was still trying to get that workout in. I felt awful. I think after that, I went to Wendy's, got me 2 Baconators, and then after that, I went to, I know my last meal was Dion's Pizza. I had a big, large meat eaters Dion's Pizza with like just covered in ranch.
Damn.
Yeah, that was crazy. I should do that again. Nah, honestly, at the end of the day, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. Like, that was too much. That was 20,000 calories. Ain't no joke, man. That ain't for that. That's a lot of calories.
I mean, I've always heard like Olympians like they would do like 10,000 calories and be a bunch of McDonald's and shit like that. They'll eat 10,000 calories after a show or something like that.
It's hard to say, man, because you know, if you're in contest prep and you're already hungry and you start cutting, man, you could get 20,000 calories in, guarantee it. You're so hungry. But if you're in the off season and you've already been eating, it's a lot tougher to get it down. So, yeah, man. But as far as your question earlier about you know the diet and girls, I say in the off season they're always happy, man. Always, because I'm always eating whatever they want, and then they don't feel bad and they feel comfortable. Yeah. Like, well, if Ricky's getting 2 Big Mac meals, I can get 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, But as far as like when it's time to cut down, man, they get it. They don't really get annoyed because they understand like what I'm trying to do. But you know, they definitely. I'm not the type of dude where I'm like, hey, don't eat that in front of me. You know, I have willpower. You know, I have discipline. Like, you're allowed to eat that because I know as soon as my contest prep is over, I'm gonna be eating everything in sight again. So, you know, for me, it's not a big deal, man. It's never really caused any fights or anything. Like, me being hangry might have caused some fights, but never that bad.
What about the drinking?
Drinking?
Yeah, because I assume you can't really be drinking and shit like that.
I try not to drink, man. I really try not to. But, hey, man, if somebody offers it, for me, it's always when people pay for my drinks, man. That's what bugs me. Yeah. Because then I feel obligated to drink it, you know. But I'm never going to be a dude that's like, hey, man, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be a buzzkill sometimes, man. Yeah. You know, so for me, for any bodybuilders out there, if you're going to drink, get you a sugar-free Red Bull and vodka. That's going to be the lowest calories, and the sugar-free Red Bull is going to be, you know, burning calories in the background. But, you know, I've never been a big drinker, man. I've been more weed, you know, down THC, because it helps me eat, honestly. Yeah. It makes me funny. It makes me chill. Like, I've always been a weed guy, never really drinker, you know, because I've never really gotten super faded, but there have been a couple times where I'm like, okay, man, I cannot do alcohol. Yeah. You know? And plus, it's really not great for you, you know?
No, it's horrible, yeah.
Yeah, that's been kind of tough. But honestly, if you're drinking every day, you're not really my type of person anyways, you feel me? Yeah. Like, I don't really want to be around you. Like, I don't know, man. For me, man, drunk people bug. Drunk girls bug. You know what I'm saying? Like, drunk people just bug, man. They always, you know, dude, I love you so much, bro. You know, like, dude, come on, man. I just met you yesterday. You know, shut up with all that.
Yeah, the alcohol alters people for sure, but
it does, man. I'm like, you telling me you love me or you just met me yesterday? Come on, man. Get out of here.
No, especially, I mean, when you'll go bodybuilding and competing and things like that, alcohol is just gonna hold you back.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, the thing is, after a night of drinking, you wake up and you look shredded.
Yeah, it does. It dehydrates you so much.
Dehydrates you, right. So, I mean, I've been drunk on stage before trying to pull that water out.
I've heard that's a thing. Like, they actually, bodybuilders, they would actually, like, some of them would drink before a competition or something. Yeah. We usually do a shot of Tito's backstage, but me, I was so nervous, man. I was only supposed to do 1 shot. I was like, shoot, give me 3. Next thing I know, I was out there smiling, laughing. I had the best time of my life. That calmed your nerves down just to get on stage?
Oh, yeah, it calmed me down, man. Because you got to remember, the division I do, I'm in a thong, bro. You can see my ass cheeks. Like, man, I don't care who you are, man. That's like...
It's a major pause, man.
It's like I'm sitting here as a straight male, and I'm about to go out there in a thong. And try it, you know, like, dude, like, you got to take a shot, man. Yeah, every time, man, I got to. And I feel like I always look better after I take the shot, honestly. So, I don't know.
Let's talk about supplements, because I know it's a big thing in the bodybuilding community. People taking roids, D-ball, test boosters, and stuff like that. And people kind of like shame other bodybuilders for taking those supplements. How do you feel about that? And what's your personal opinion?
So let me ask you a question. Is it wrong if a girl gets breast implants?
No.
Right. It's a personal decision. Same thing goes with steroids, man. If you are a gym rat and you judge another gym rat for using steroids, shame on you. You know, because there is enough, man. It's not like we living in the 90s, the 80s, where there wasn't no research on none of this, man.
Yeah.
If you're just not lazy, you can go and do research and figure out what this stuff does. You know, you don't even necessarily need a coach. You just need to not be an idiot. You know, that's really all it comes down to. So as far as supplements go, and you know, it's so prominent in bodybuilding because muscle is the sport, right?
Yeah.
Versus NFL players, you know, basketball players, MLB players, it's not going to be as prominent because they don't look like us. You know, there's a couple, like, don't get me wrong, DK Metcalf, he looks crazy.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple football players that look like it, but, you know, I feel like there's always a way to find an advantage. There's always a way. People are always going to try to find an advantage. And if you're smart about things, it's not as big of a risk as, you know, some people can make it. But, you know, you are going to have to deal with some side effects no matter what. And just be prepared for that, you know?
How do you feel about people there's a lot of YouTube influencers in the gym community that claim they're natty, but they're not. Like, how do you feel about those people?
I don't like those people.
Do you feel like they have to tell the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be transparent.
Well, you should be transparent, absolutely, because you got little kids like I was once, you know? I followed this guy named Simeon Panda. Okay? He was this guy, man. He used to be jacked. He had these abs. I was like, man, I want to look like this guy. And he claimed he was all natural. So I'm sitting there, man, doing his workouts and his routines, thinking I'm going to look like him. Bro, he ain't natural, man. Like, you know, it took me a minute to figure that out.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was really Rich Piana who really opened my eyes. And I was like, oh, shoot, everybody's taking steroids, you know?
Yeah, because then he died because he kept taking so much roids after.
Well, he died because of a lot of things, like a lot of drugs they found in his system, like not just steroids, but
he's using like other substances. Like
harmful
substances.
Yeah, like I think they found like, well, I don't want to talk, but I heard they found like other drugs, and he was doing PMMA injections, which is something that you can get down in Mexico, and it's basically like fake muscle.
That's crazy.
That you can inject in yourself. So I think that's probably that probably clogged his arteries and gave him a heart attack. You know, but you don't see Arnold. Arnold's cool. He's still kicking it. Yeah. Ronnie Coleman's still kicking it. You know, these dudes are, you know, Phil Heath. All these guys are still alive and with us. You know, if you do things the right way, and you're not doing crazy stuff like Rich Piana was doing. You know, if you ever got to go to Mexico to do something, hey man, it's probably not a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you probably should stay with it. Well, there was an Australian bodybuilder that died a couple years ago. He was pretty famous on social media. I forgot his name.
Oh, and he was like, he was just shredded.
Shredded as hell.
Yeah.
He was like 6'5", 6'6". He was tall. He was trailing.
Oh yeah.
He was just like shit with his pecs and shit.
Well, yeah. Oh, I know who you talk about.
Yeah.
That.
He had a heart attack or something like that.
Yeah. Man,
some white boy, right?
Jason, was it Jason? No, it wasn't Jason.
Usually when you're that big though, man, it's hard for your body to pump blood to all the different areas. When you're 6'5" and like 300 pounds like that, it's gonna be hard for your body to pump blood all the way everywhere. I mean, you know, there's a point where you can get too big, believe it or not. You know, and that's honestly, I get scared of that sometimes. Yeah. You know,
to get to the next level. Is there a way just to stay natty and compete at a high level, or you have to end up taking some type of supplement or drug to get you a pro card or compete in like Mr. Olympia?
You know, this is a question I get asked all the time, man. And whether you like it or not, man, eventually, if everybody else is taking something,
you kind of have to.
You're gonna have to too, man. And it's sad, man. It's really sad because steroids they can be very dangerous, you know? There's a difference between using something and then abusing it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that if everybody was, you know, doing things the right way we would have a safe sport, but unfortunately we don't. And, you know, as far as being natural, you know, you can go so far naturally. You know, you see it all the time with you know, people who have great genetics. You know, they go far, but eventually they hit a plateau. Mm-hmm. And to break that plateau, you gotta, you know, because at a certain point you do everything you can with the training, everything you can with the diet, and then you just hit a threshold where you're like, hey man, I'm doing everything I can, and I'm not making any progress. And that's usually what tempts people to go into the dark side. That's what tempted me, because I was trying to get, I wanted to bench 455. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't. No matter how hard I tried, no matter how much I ate, I just could not get it. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, playtime's over. I was like, playtime's over, man.
Has there ever been a pro that's been natural? Where, like, in the open?
So when you talk about somebody that's like elite, you talk about Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
He actually competed at the Mr. Olympia naturally. Damn. And then when he hopped on the roids, he got last place.
Yeah.
I think it was 1992. But then he started taking stuff, and yeah, everybody was like, okay, yeah, he actually was natural. Because he had put on another like 50 pounds after that. He was just, yeah. So, you know, but those guys have myostatin, you know, deficiencies, you know, where their body doesn't, you know, there's certain people who have this gene. It's almost a disease, I think. But, you know, 1 in like maybe 100,000 people have it, where your body doesn't produce myostatin as much as, you know, me or you would. You know, they just don't really have myostatin. And myostatin is that RPM, right? It's going to say, you're putting on too much muscle. They don't have that gauge, so they can just keep going.
That's crazy.
You know, that's a disease I wish I had, honestly.
That's crazy.
What's been your biggest mental or emotional challenge you faced in your fitness journey?
I've had a lot, man. As far as like mental challenge, man, I remember just crying to my mom, man. You know, right after I had done a show and I didn't do as good as I wanted, and I was just, man, I'm done. I ain't gonna do this no more. You know, I just was bawling my eyes out. I worked so hard, and for what? And she said, you know, God always has a plan. And I looked at her, and she's like, you've been grinding so hard. Why stop now? And I was like, dang. So now every time during my prep, my mom gets annoyed, you know. Everybody thinks bodybuilding is a solo journey. No, it's not. You know, my mama has played such a big role for me. You know, everybody in my family really has. But I always call my mom when times get hard. Yeah. And she always tells me the same thing, Mijo, can you go one more day? I'm like, you know what? I can go one more day. And if you just take that approach, hey, if I could be good today, you know, it just adds up, you know? Yeah. That's a game I play with myself when I'm in prep. How many days can I stay perfect? All right, let's say I got 6. All right, I'm going to get 7. All right, I'm going to get 8. You know, like you just play that game with yourself, you know? And that's what it comes down to, is discipline. Because a lot of people don't realize if you don't have the best genetics, you can beat somebody who's got better genetics with you if you have discipline, you know? So, yeah, I say that was probably my biggest setback was when I tore my pec, for sure. Yeah, I mean, dude, before I tore my pec, man, I had no doubt in my mind I was going to win the Olympia. You know, I just thought I looked crazy. And I had crazy chest, but now it's like a little ball, you know? It don't look right. And it's definitely, you know.
How'd you tear it?
Bench press. Yeah,
so
flat bench press. I always tell people, don't do it. It's an ego, you know, it's an ego lift for real. Yeah. There's no reason, if you're not in high school, to max out on bench press. Never reason. Yeah. Unless you're a power lifter or something like that. So, you know, that's what I got to say. To the kids out there, hey, do not bench heavy. I'm telling you, you're going to regret it. You're going to end up tearing your pec. And, you know, it makes you look weird. You look like a one-titty wonder like me, okay? There are ways you can get around it, you know. You can pose, and I've had to, you know, if you can change your posing up, you can really get around it. But, you know, besides that, yeah, that's been my big, and I can't train chest properly to this day.
Damn. Yeah. How long ago was that?
4 years ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah.
How much do you have on the bar?
465.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Did you injure yourself whenever, like, you tore it? Did you, like, the weight fell on you?
Yeah, so I had this real skinny dude spotting me. That was my first mistake. So if you go heavy on bench press, make sure you got a good spotter.
Yeah.
I swear, I could have got my girlfriend at the time to spot me. It would have been better than this dude, man. This dude was awful. Anyways, he was the only dude around, so I had him spot me. And then I felt it go down, and it hit right here, right under my. So I went down too low, knocked the wind out of me. And then I tried to push, and then I just remember feeling tear, pop. Oh. And I couldn't push nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. Like I'd kind of tweaked my pec before.
Yeah.
But this time I knew it was serious.
Yeah.
Like the pain, like I still get freaking nightmares about that pain. Cause it just, I felt like my whole like Spider-Man when he's trying to like,
yeah.
That's how I felt. It was just like, like it snapped. Like I felt a pop. And then once I felt the pop, I was like, oh no. And then I remember I called my boy Matt and he was like, well, is it bruising? He was like, if it's bruising right away, it means it's torn. And then I looked at it, it was bruising. I was like, yeah, it's bruising. He's like, yep, go to the hospital.
Yeah. So you had surgery?
No surgery.
Thankfully, that's.
Yeah, I mean, they said I tried to get surgery, but the doctor said it was like sewing two steaks back together, essentially. Because it was my upper pec and my lower pec. But one thing is, it's a blessing in disguise, is it helped get my legs bigger and my arms bigger. Because I couldn't train chest for like 6 months. So I was like, madman mentality. I was like, all right, you know what? I can't train chest. That's cool. I'm going to get my legs as big as I can,
Yeah.
And so every day I was just in there training legs, and it really blew my legs up, honestly. It was a blessing in disguise. So that's why I always say there's always something bad can happen, but then God will just, boom, bounce back. How many times has it happened to you? Something happens horrible, and you're just like, man, my life is over. But then like 2 months later, you're like up, like you never been before. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. God works in mysterious ways, for real.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the financial part of bodybuilding, because it is a very expensive sport.
Very expensive, yeah.
Yeah. How much you typically spend on your body, yourself, and food, typically every month? Man,
okay, so food gonna be probably about $150 a week, at least $600 on food, and that's not even including the fast food in the off season. So that could get up to $800, $900. Steroids probably gonna be about. Depends if you're taking like something like growth hormone or not. That one's pretty pricey, but if you're really trying to get every advantage, that's something you're definitely gonna take. I would say that's gonna be another $600, $700, $800 a month. Damn. Supplements like whey, creatine, EAAs, carb powder, that's gonna be another probably $300 a month. And yeah, man, that's about $2,100 a month right there, not including my rent, not including my phone bill. No, that's just on bodybuilding.
Gym membership, all that.
Yeah, gym membership, all that.
Trainer, coaches.
You pay rent on yourself.
Yeah. How do most bodybuilders maintain that? Because that's a lot of money just to keep doing it, and it's not. You don't really guys get an ROI in the beginning,
Yeah, there's no return.
Yeah.
on your investment at all. Besides, you look jacked, that's awesome. You can take your shirt off anywhere, that's awesome. But, man, I would say that there's a lot of dudes who, and this is where it comes bad, they'll take Tren year round because it's the best bang for your buck. But it also mess up your health and make you punch holes in walls. So Tren is not something I'm a big fan of, but I would say I know a couple homies, they're kind of broken. They kind of have to because it's the best bang for your buck. If you're going to take a bunch of something like Prima Bowling that's really, really cheap, it's going to be way, way better for your health. But the Tren is going to be even more powerful. You could take probably 4 or 5 different steroids and it still wouldn't be as strong as Tren would be.
That's crazy.
It's the MFs of MFs. It's powerful. And that's why I feel like, man, a lot of these bodybuilders, man, they can't, man. They can't make it because of the financial. If your financial, what's it called?
State?
Yeah, if your financial state is up, you're going to be up, because it really comes down to how much can you put into your body. Food, drugs, supplements, how on top of it can you be in a 24-hour window? If I'm able to take, X, but my boy who, just won $5,000 off the lottery ticket or whatever, he's able to take 3X, he's going to be at a significant advantage over me, and that's just, that's just the truth, man. And it's really sad, man. If you're bodybuilding, you need to have a good job. I don't know why people don't talk about this more. If you're a bodybuilder, go train some people, man. Mm-hmm. Go help some people. That's my biggest pet peeve is most bodybuilders are lazy. They just want to, eat my meal, go to sleep, go to the gym, bro. Nah, man, go train somebody. Mm-hmm. There's money out there to be made, Go work security, go do this and that. There are things you could do. A lot of bodybuilders are just lazy, mm-hmm. And it's really sad, man, because I know a lot of dudes who just bodybuilding is their life. Hey, man, you want to go out this weekend? Nah, man, I can't. Why not? Well, I can't afford it. What you mean, bro? Like, going to the movies, bro. Like, you can't afford a $10 ticket? Like, I've known homies like that, mm-hmm. And you got to take care of them. So, it's always just, it's hard for people to just fathom the fact that these pros, the reason why they're pros is they have 10 times more money than you. They can get growth hormone, real IGF-1, real compounds that you can't afford. Yeah. Because you're over here just trying to take, you're over here worried about trying to build your physique and you're not worried about the money. Mm-hmm. You got to have both. You got to be Batman for real in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to have the money. You got to grind. You got to be up at night. Like, you for real got to be Batman. Because if you're not trying to do every aspect of your life at 100%, you're going to fail. Yeah. And that's the grind that takes most people out, unfortunately.
That's the biggest fall off the financial situation there?
I'd say so. Yeah. I'd say so. Because a lot of they give up once they don't see their, they hit it, they give up once they don't see that, they're, again, as you said, the ROI. Yeah. They're just like, why am I doing this? Why am I even doing this? Mm-hmm. For me, I do it because I love it. Yeah. Every day I wake up, I get to do what I love. It's amazing, man. It's a blessing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for me, I love training people, man. I love seeing people just, their transformations. I get addicted, man. Yeah. I be calling them on the phone first thing, hey, man, where's your pictures at? Like, I'm trying to see how you looking because, you got a wedding or you got to lose weight or this or that, and a lot of people, man, they could benefit so much from just, taking time out of their day to really, really just, and this goes for anything, man. If you're doing something wrong, do it on 100%. Mm-hmm. Don't be lazy. That's what bugs me, man. People are lazy, really. I can't stand people who are lazy. Mm-hmm. Because, like, dude, there's money to be made. Go make it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not that hard.
Mm-hmm. What advice would you give any man, woman, boy or girl that wants to kind of step in your footsteps and, do what you do? How would you kind of guide them to kind of get to where you're at?
Shoot, I would say, man, if you're trying to get into my footsteps, number one, I would say do it genuinely. People can always tell when you're fake. I can always tell when somebody's fake. And if you're fake and you're not doing it genuinely, you can't, when people are fake, people notice it real quick, and that's why I say do things because you love it. And I do this because I love it. That's why I never stop. It's been 10 years and I've never stopped because I love it. Mm-hmm. And if you want to be like me, you got to have a passion for it. And if you don't have a passion for it, guess what? You can't be like me. I would say the first step to starting would be get a gym membership, obviously. Mm-hmm. Second step, hire a coach. I've had 4, 5, 6 different coaches. You can never get too much information. Everybody there's a million ways to skin a cat, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has their own approaches to getting shredded, to getting big, this and that. I've done every diet there is. I've done the keto, I've done the high carb, I've done the high cardio, I've done, see which one works the best for you. Because what works best for me might not work best for you. You might not be able to eat McDonald's every day in the off season like I did, I mean, that's just the way life is. And if you don't know who you are, you won't ever be who you can be, right? Yeah. So that's the biggest thing is just trying to figure it out, and really just taking a lot of time to just mentally be there. Because you can be somewhere in the present but not be there. You can be I see it all the time. You see it too, I'm sure. Dudes in the gym, they 2 sets of lat pull down. Oh, let me go talk to Frank real quick. What's up, man? How you doing? How's the family doing? You know, I see it all the time. Dudes be in the gym, but they don't be working out. That's the craziest thing to me. I see it all the time. Truth Fitness. All these girls in their yoga pants, they stretching, and then they go take a selfie, and then they leave. Like, can you believe this? I see it all the time, man.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why they're not at an elite level, because you're not doing it because you truly love it. You're doing it because you want to be like somebody else. Don't be like nobody else. Be yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, you talk about the crowders too, like the high school kids. There's 5 in one bench, and 3 hours to get through that.
Yeah, I never hate that though, because I was once that kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is true.
I started working out with my boys, you know, and just when I see that, I love that. When I see the kids on the bench, because I'm like, man, they're starting. One of those kids in that group is going to end up. You know, I love seeing that. Honestly.
Yeah, I was more of just. Like, I'll go with one other friend, but I'm like, when we get there, we're working. Like, I'm not here to waste time, or else why am I wasting my money?
Oh, for sure, man. So, yeah, you got to know. I feel like you can tell within one workout if you want to keep working out with somebody. That's the most important part, is finding the right workout partner too. Yeah, man. If it wasn't for my boy Matt Ellison, I would not be here today. Like, man, it was a constant battle. Some days I look at Matt, I'm like, dang, he's looking pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
I know and then there would be some days where I was looking good. He'd be like, what do I got to do? Yeah. Just that constant battle, trying to one-up each other. It just made us better. Mm-hmm. And we also train like animals. That's the other thing. You really got to, I say that's the number one thing that I don't see no more. People training with real training partners. Mm-hmm. You know, having a real training partner. People like to go solo. I get it. Get your music in. You work out for the endorphins or the mental. You know, there's a billion benefits of working out. But if you really want to be the best, you need to have somebody there challenging you every day. Because if you just do it for fun, let's say, you're never going to push yourself. Oh, man, I don't feel like benching 315 today. You know what? My knee's kind of hurting. Let me not squat. Let me do the leg press. You know, you see it all the time. If you got a partner there and he's like, hey, man, I'm going to do this. And if you don't do it, you're going to look like a little bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to one-up you. Yeah. Me, as an alpha male, I can't let you do me like that. Yeah, I'm going to challenge you back. And if I don't beat you, I'm going to get as damn close as I can. You know?
I mean, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great mentality to have. I really appreciate you getting on here and kind of telling your story and your mindset and, you know, some advice to give to young women and men. You know, I feel like people will get inspired hearing your story and seeing your come up. I expect you to do big things in your life. Hopefully get to Mr. Olympia stage one day and win the show. You know, represent your community, your country, your ethnicity, and stuff that. So before we end today's podcast today, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to our 2 main sponsors. We got Hookah Kings, the top-rated hookah lounge in Mexico, and Merino Media, quality content for your business and image. And I'll see you guys next time on the Smart Talk.